Welcome to the Hot Topics Podcast. I'm your host, Psycho4081, and I am joined by my two lovely hosts, the Lady Lamb Chop.
Good evening.
And the notorious Felonious Feather.
That's me, not me, not
Let's
me.
get it started. All right, so thank you for joining us on our podcast. And first thing we want to say, it's been hot.
Oh my God, like
Hot.
hot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hell hot.
Yes.
Like, this is for people that want to go to hell. This is how you practice.
Yes.
This is how you practice for
I
hell.
agree. I agree.
Yeah, and I was out there Sunday for at least 5 hours, and it was. And I don't care how much water you drink; it seems like
It's
never
not
be enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's not
definitely
enough.
got to make sure you're hydrated and
Yeah,
Stay
hydrated.
inside if you
Yes.
can.
yeah. Let me tell you one of the clues though. For me, I don't use the bathroom, right? Even if I'm drinking water, so I'm thinking I'm just sweating the liquid out or something, right? And then I get cramps. Well, first be my hands, and when I start getting it like on little like crazy parts of my body, I was
Right.
like, that's the telltale
Time to go
sound.
home.
Like get dehydrated.
Yeah.
That's scary.
I know. I just have. You're the one telling me that I'm dehydrated when I have pains. all
Yeah,
over.
yeah. Because I'm telling you from experience. I'm like stuff that you don't even cramps in the middle of your chest,
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
the-
cramps on your like your back,
Your side.
your side. Yeah,
Oh
that's
wow.
yeah,
That's, oh wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think tomorrow is gonna be really hot.
Is it?
Yes.
Yes.
Tomorrow's going to be worse than
Yeah.
today.
The hottest day of the week.
Yeah. This is going to be the hottest
I think
day.
it's 98. It's probably gonna go to 100.
And they said it'll feel
Oh.
like 110 or something
my
crazy.
God.
110.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna die.
Yep.
Well, you guys be safe out there and
Yes,
make sure you
please.
hydrate.
And
Yes,
stay in
please.
if you can.
Yes.
You know, stay in someplace cool if you can.
And those of us that have to work, well,
Yeah.
one person here works from home and the other person is tired. So
I got to go to the
It's easy
dentist,
to
so
say
I'll
no
be out
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
I ain't
I'll
gonna
be
be
out
out.
for a little while.
Well, speaking of being inside,
What did that happen?
former officer feared she was
Oh.
pregnant with inmate's child. Arrest warrants say. And this lady is from Clarendon County, South Carolina. Now, I'm split on this. Okay, because
How will you split
I'm
on
split
that?
because I'm just thinking as a correctional officer, you have a duty or responsibility to do your job properly, and technically that's rape because they're
you cannot
incarcerated.
help who you fall in love with. She probably had it on a bucket list too.
Well,
Oh.
Check it out.
bucket list, get
Yeah.
fired,
Yeah.
No,
go to
bucket-
jail.
And go to jail.
Bucket list.
work on the inside and outside.
Right.
Exactly.
When it's hot.
So, but I'm split on it because I understand, that part is bad. Especially, we always talk about men taking advantage of women and,
Right.
whatever. But
That's a woman taking advantage of
as
a
a
man, though.
as a man, if I was inside, I think I would appreciate that.
Right,
Exactly.
but she was in a position of power, and
yeah.
she cannot.
So she gonna say, "Hey, come, bring your dick, open it." No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
I mean, technically, she's not supposed to do that. That is
Yeah,
part of her
I don't.
job.
I don't think that's what she did. They probably fell in love.
No, but what happened was I could tell because
It's happened
probably-
so many
yeah.
times before.
they
Yeah.
probably got in there and was talking that sweet talk
But
to them.
for the guy, that's free pussy. It's okay.
Yeah.
With it. So
Yeah.
you can't say it's all on her. Like,
Well,
she
free
should know
pussy
better.
ain't
It is
always
on
good
a-
pussy.
Huh?
Free
It
pussy ain't
doesn't
always
matter.
good pussy.
It doesn't have a choice. It's better than doing the guy.
Well,
Exactly. So
yeah. But from what I heard, that's actually happens a lot.
do they do
Yeah.
conjugal visits and stuff?
They do, don't they? Still allow that?
I don't know.
Maybe in
don't
the big prisons, like
Yeah,
not the.
I don't know.
I don't know if this was a county, or
But
local
it's
prison.
just
but-
like so. There's a difference. I don't feel like I just feel like she jeopardized her life and everything. But
Oh,
I don't
absolutely.
I don't feel like she's to blame. I don't feel like how he's saying like you're under a protection of if somebody was sick in the hospital or disabled or I understand that kind of thing. But this person is normal. get what I'm
You
saying?
feel like it would be abuse.
Consensual,
If,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so how he's saying it like you're saying that she should know better or whatever,
Yes.
whatever. Like she's abusing her authority.
Yes.
Absolutely.
You understand? No, I'm just
Yes.
saying no. I don't in that kind of situation. If it
So
was
let me ask you
like
something.
if it like a hospital or something like that, like you're caring for a disabled person or an injured. You
Well,
get what
how,
I'm
how
saying?
about this?
Right.
You should know better in that situation.
how
that
about
person
this?
is vulnerable.
How
but
about this?
one,
You're a professional,
Uh-huh.
right? That's one. Two, how about the slaves? When they say the slaves they didn't resist the master, obviously they wouldn't have, because the master
This
had
is a
control.
guy. If it was a guy and a girl, if it was the opposite situation or the scenario was changed, then that will apply.
It still applies.
I don't
Oh, talk about okay.
Okay, well, that's the topic for today.
No. I'm talking about you with your double standard.
No. But then that would apply.
Red flag.
Whatever. That would apply. Like if it was a guy, yeah, and then the girl, you say, oh, she had no choice.
Well, the same thing with the guy.
But I don't feel, no, I don't think I think guys, they're just down for any
You don't
pussy.
think the
they
woman
resist anything.
You don't
No.
think the woman
I think it was payday for him.
No, but you don't think a woman in jail would want a guy, inmate? I mean, not an inmate, but
a officer.
Yeah, officer. Because they've been starved and they don't want.
Right.
Well, you know.
What you say? A woman in jail?
I'm talking about a woman in jail. You don't think she has the same desires as a man in jail?
Yeah, but men,
Exactly.
But the difference is the man won't get pregnant.
So that's on her. She's extra super stupid. Because either way, the guard got pregnant.
But then how did they even find out?
And the
first
inmate, gosh, well, once she did it, so she ain't too bright.
place? So
Right.
So she did it, and then how
I
did
mean,
they find
anybody
out?
could have seen her.
All right, so
People talk.
so she had a whole relationship with him for a month,
Right.
between September 2023.
I'm not sure that constitutes a relationship.
She started working there August of 2023. So she was there a month. Had a relationship with the dude for a month, and
So
then
she's
she got.
inexperienced. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Well, hey, you know.
you don't know where you can find your lover anywhere.
Well, so
You
apparently,
gonna stick up for her no matter what.
apparently she got a tattoo of the inmate's name on her body.
See?
No,
That's what I'm telling. So that's what I'm saying. She was feeling like she was in love. So don't blame her.
She's also accused of bringing over 174 grams of marijuana to the
Oh,
inmate.
So the guy, you see, he manipulated her.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
Well, either way, both if
Well,
it
she
was
should
a
know
male
better.
correctional
But that's-
officer or a female
that's
correctional
stupid- that's
officer,
stupid
they're
so
going to get the
low.
same punishment.
Exactly.
They're both losing their job.
And they
They're
should.
both going to jail. So
they should.
yeah, you can't. Yeah, I'm sure he did manipulate her though.
Although if
he
I
had
go-
all the sweet talk, he ain't got nothing but time.
Although if I go to jail and any of you female correctional officers, I will not snitch. Okay, just let you know.
Whatever.
In other news,
Other news, SpaceX. You hear about SpaceX?
no, I did not.
All right, so
I know you sent it to me. I
Yeah.
just didn't get a chance. to
So
get
you
to
know, Elon Smith has this. Elon Musk. I was gonna say Elon Tusk. Elon Musk has the SpaceX program. So his big goal is to actually he wants to colonize Mars.
Right.
Right. So he has
wants
this
to what? Colonize. What?
colonize Mars.
Mars.
Oh.
You know, it wants to make us a multi-planet species,
Right.
basically,
So
which is
some
not bad.
people, they'll take some people over to Mars.
and live.
Yeah.
Like you look like someone that.
No,
would
he probably wouldn't take me.
No, he is not going to take
He ain't
you.
taking me.
No.
So the thing is, so he has a his space program basically, and he also has an internet service, satellite service. So he has
Okay.
hundreds, thousands, whatever satellites floating around that gives internet to remote places. So a satellite
Like farms, you mean?
everywhere, the
Okay,
middle
okay.
of Africa.
Okay. Okay.
So it's called, what is it called? Starlink.
Okay. Yeah. I
Right,
heard
that goes through the satellite, right? So they took the rocket up, and they was going to drop off quite a few satellites. The rocket failed, and the satellites
Did
they
not
released
make
it.
it.
They didn't make it. They stayed in. They didn't get into the orbit that they needed.
Oh, okay.
So eventually they'll
Or died.
they'll drop out
They'll
of this.
drop out. Yeah.
And
So
die.
all that debris is just floating around.
Yeah. And it'll hopefully it'll burn up in the atmosphere
Right before it hits the ground.
Yeah. So, but after that happened, I don't know if it was connected, but Tesla lost billions.
Or in stock.
Yes, stock value. Yeah. So, but I'm gonna tell you that
Boo hoo for him. Like,
yeah,
I don't feel
yeah.
sorry for him.
he's lost more than most of us have made
Ever.
Yeah.
Our,
And I'm talking about
our
us. I'm
parents,
talking
our
about
grandparents.
Generation.
yeah.
Yes.
But with that said, he's it has bounced back, and we're gonna talk about that in another podcast.
Okay.
Why it's bounced back, but
Okay.
that was I just wanted to throw that in there. But what do you have?
It was a horrible weekend for losing people. this weekend. It was pretty bad. So Shannon Doherty, 53. I think she was either Melrose Place or 90210, one of those girls.
Yeah, 90210.
90210. If she was 53, but she had a long battle with breast cancer. And she did not make it. Richard Simmons, fitness guru, happy. You don't know Richard Simmons, do you? No.
I've heard of that before.
Yeah. I'm gonna leave that alone. 76, found dead, unresponsive. They don't have a cause yet.
Oh, really? Well,
Yeah.
76.
Where?
I think he lived in California. I want to say, but I'm not 100% sure. I think he lived in California, but. He made a whole gang of money off of, getting fit and being fit. And, I just remember him being, I was an unhappy 200-pound child. Yeah. And everybody had to cry. Like everything he was on, somebody was crying. But, for the most part, everybody knew who Richard Simmons was. And Dr. Ruth died.
Yes.
I don't know who that is.
Okay, she was
a
sex expert. Sex in the City. Oh, she was a sex expert. I think she had a talk show, and she did the circuit on all of
what is
TV.
a sex expert?
It was interesting because she was an older lady.
Star?
No.
No, she's a.
She gave advice.
Yeah, she was
about relationships and sex.
Right.
Yeah. But she was 96, and it was just like no cause. I'm like, she was 96.
Yeah.
Of course.
Do you need a cause?
But you know what? I think. Let me see. When I first heard of her or saw her, it was in the 80s, right?
Right.
I remember her from the 80s when I was a kid.
And she
looked
was older.
She looked like she was 96 back then. So
You know what?
she did. But
she had been around for a long time.
very nice lady. She was very welcoming. Of course, you had to be to talk about that.
Yeah, and she was full steam ahead.
Yeah.
Like she did not pull any punches. She didn't hold anything back. She she let you all have it. And the surprise I woke up to this morning was Jacoby Jones.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, okay. And they don't know the cause of death yet, but he didn't wake up. And he had a birthday party the night before. He just turned 40.
Yeah, his sister said something about he died peacefully. So So I'm assuming it's in sleep.
Yeah.
If I can recall, I think he did have like a drinking problem. I don't want to put that out, but I think that at 40 years old.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Jacoby Jones, he was a professional football player. He played for, I forgot the first team, but in this area, he's known for playing with the Ravens.
Right, the Baltimore
and actually,
Ravens.
Got them
to
the Super Bowl.
Did they win that year? Okay.
Yeah, and then he went to he ended up going to Pittsburgh in his later years, and then kind of faded out, because he just got older for his position or whatever.
And I'll continue with the sad news. I'm sorry, people, to bring the room down. In Holly Springs, Mississippi, was a mass shooting. 4 people were killed, 3 women inside a car, 1 man outside of a car, a 5-year-old in the car unharmed. It was in front of, like, they found the car in front of somebody's private home, so I don't know all the circumstances.
Wow.
To that.
So somebody just found them dead.
Yeah.
Nobody
like
called.
The man was laying in the street. The woman
wow.
was in the car. And I don't know if like somebody was walking by. I was like, what's going on here? And called 911. But luckily, whoever did this left a child. Although they're probably going to be traumatized for the rest of their life. Right. But at least they're here. And Birmingham, nightclub shooting. 7 people. 7 people died. 10 victims. And it was 2 separate shootings. And in this one of the kids was a kid was
So you
shot.
said it was 7 people?
7 people dead.
Okay.
But it was 2 separate shootings, and they didn't really break it down. Like was one over here and one over there, but it all revolved around a nightclub shooting. Mm-hmm.
So when you said there was 7 dead, and then
I think it was like 10 injured.
Okay, not including the fatally injured.
Right.
Wow.
Right. 7 died
in Birmingham.
Including in Birmingham. So gun control guns are out of control is what I wanted to say.
Well, then you have, you forgot the other one. Well, that's not a mass one, but you want to.
I was not. I was going to let you do it because I knew you couldn't you couldn't resist. So I was just going to let you
Well, just to mention it because it is kind of big.
It is very
somebody, apparently a 20-year-old white male, registered Republican, tried to take out presidential candidate, Donald J. Trump. And what I didn't know at first, he actually did it from a roof.
Yeah.
With a sniper rifle.
Mm-hmm.
And then, hit his, grazed his ear.
Yeah.
And everybody said, oh, he's the bravest person. He had an ear graze. Okay. But somebody else died.
Right.
I think it was a fireman died.
Yeah.
And maybe one other person injured.
Was injured. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and then,
how was he brave and he got 10,000 Secret Service tackling him to the ground?
Because he threw up a fist as he was being ushered away.
Exactly.
Yeah. But now here's my thing. I'm not really a Trump fan. You guys can tell that by now. But the political violence is never the answer. And that kind of stuff has got to stop. And I'm going to say this too, that's something that he had a hand in creating, this atmosphere of divisiveness and even with now this is the thing I don't like, the January 6th thing,
right.
all of them, he called that a hoax. Yeah, he called that a hoax and people died.
Well, which one is worse, him calling it a hoax or the people saying that they were visitors? Yeah. Like, which one is worse?
Yeah, that's crazy. Either way, both sides need to,
a lot of people call the shooting a hoax.
Hoax too.
Yeah, they call it.
But
like
what the thing is, even with that, it's kind of, that one was kind of suspect from the beginning. You got people, that was right behind them,
and then
sitting there still smiling, like, what's going on?
Because they didn't know what happened. Yeah. That's why they was kind of.
But then they
smiling.
said somebody said that they heard it already. They heard, and he also confirmed that he heard some kind of noise.
He whizzing by, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So and then everybody's still standing there.
And then the sad part about it is, like I said, I don't really think it's staged. Like a lot of people do believe it's staged.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
But the issue is that everybody knows he's capable of doing that.
Right.
Yeah. We wouldn't put it past him, but either way, that stuff has got to stop, and there's no call for that.
It not at all.
Everybody needs to tone it down. And like I said, even me, like I'm always going to call him an imbecile, and a whole bunch of other stuff, but. What you won't hear me say is that he should be killed.
Right.
Nobody deserves to die.
No, but yeah, not at all. You just don't deserve to be president. Like
or free.
Well, it's getting closer to his freedom every day because didn't they just dismiss one of the cases? So he's getting closer to freedom.
So I knew that was going to happen because I looked it up a while ago, and so he never fights the evidence. He never fights whether it's true or not because he knows he's guilty of whatever.
Right.
He fights to suppress the evidence.
Right.
He fights to get things thrown out on technicalities. So it comes back to basically the attorney general appointed this guy as the investigator, the special prosecutor, and they have certain rules they have to follow that I don't know if they always followed them, but this time it was challenged, and he got prosecuted. All this evidence was there, and they threw out the indictment. So it's not that he can't be re-indicted. They said he just have to go through a little procedure, and then turn over the evidence. But nobody's going to
do that.
Oh, they better.
I hope they do, but I don't think they will.
I think he's going to. If he's hoping that he's going to either it's going to get stale, or if he gets into the presidency, he's going to pull out that immunity BS. So
ooh, Lordy. Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to
So
our
last
topic
week
of the day.
Last week we talked about how if dating today is too complicated. Right? And we was mentioning gender roles.
Right.
Okay. So does gender roles affect how complicated the dating is today? And
I'm just saying
do. Are you correcting me? Hark.
Well, you got it. So
hark.
Do gender roles.
Anyway, so
do gender roles.
Huh?
Yeah. Do gender roles what?
Generals.
Gendo.
Gendo.
Oh my God.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, she just corrected me in my English.
Because you're making me say nonsense.
Because you don't even speak English. Be quiet.
Do gender roles do what?
Do gender roles affect
exactly? I just wanted to clarify.
Dating and other things. I'm gonna include marriage in that too.
Okay.
Because all right, okay. So first, if anybody doesn't know what a gender role is, right? It's behavior considered to be appropriate to a particular gender as determined by prevailing cultural norms. So that means what? That means it can be different depending on where you are.
Right.
Right.
So, and how you were raised and what your culture believes.
Exactly. So like here we would say, men don't wear dresses. But in other places, Scotland, they wear kilts. Yeah. So
I don't know. Billy Porter can wear a dress, man. And I ain't mad at him. I'm not at all.
And I know who he is too.
I'm so proud of you.
I do know who he is.
I'm so proud of you.
So we're going to start with the foreigner over here, the other foreigner.
You know what?
Right. Oh no, you know what? We jumped the gun. I'm sorry. You had something.
In trending news.
No. It's not trending news.
Well, no, you had something before you get out time.
You can go on. We can do it next time.
How about do it now?
Yeah, do it.
I don't even listen. I'm not going to listen to you because of what you just said. No, I just wanted to say weird people. I just want to talk about weird people in the world. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do it next time. Keep going. Let's go.
You could do it now. Damn
what
it.
Weird people in the world?
Not weird people, like people that have like some weirdness. Odd people, basically.
Like physical attributes that are strange?
Mm-hmm. Like there's this woman called Sarah Guretz. She's a 29-year-old model, and she has EDS, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, a rare condition that causes baggy skin. Like she's 29, but she looks like
she's
my grandma.
70.
Yeah, like 89 or 90.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then there's this 5-year-old girl who started her period at age 4.
Yikes!
Wow.
That poor baby.
And now I think she's 8 now. A child from New South Wales, Australia, will soon exhibit signs of menopause. I think she's now 9 or something.
At 9?
8. Okay, Emily Dover has grown pubic hair. She started growing pubic hair at 2 or something.
Oh, wow.
And she has grown pubic hair, breast, and suffers acne and body odor.
And she's 2.
Yeah.
So she's in puberty, pretty much.
Yes. And
she had her body was sped up super duper fast.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, which is like, oh my God, that's so scary for me.
Yes.
And there's this other lady that her name is something Wang Fan in China or somewhere, and she has her feet backwards.
Her feet backwards?
Yeah.
Yikes.
So like, and then there's another person that cries blood.
Oh, wow.
It's not the fang. Wait, let me see. That's somebody cries blood.
Well, they'd have burnt them on a stake back
Yeah,
in
right.
the
Okay,
day.
her name is Yarita's Olivia, and she's a 20-year-old Chilean woman who has told of indescribable pain she has experienced since she began weeping tears of blood.
Wow.
So we have,
and they can't figure out what's wrong with them.
No, she told nobody knows what to give me. Do not know what I have. Do not know why me.
Oh.
So, like,
Holy water.
Yeah. You know
like,
what?
she just keeps.
Or a cross.
Stop talking to me.
I'm telling you. It's
So
coming.
She just keeps like weeping blood.
Yeah.
Weeping blood. Like,
And where's she from?
Chile.
Chile.
Okay.
I don't know if she's. But then if she's weeping blood, do you think she's losing blood?
Not that
Losing
much,
blood?
because you don't cry enough to actually dehydrate yourself. I don't
Yeah.
think, right? So she's probably not losing
Why would
that
she
much.
even need to cry anyway? Maybe like
Because she's crying blood. I would like that would be a constant cry for me. Like, they can't tell me what how to fix it. I would probably be crying all the
I
time.
know, right?
Okay,
Like,
that
so-
kind of makes sense though. I mean, because I'd be
What will you do?
holding it in like men usually do. Because of gender.
That's,
Okay,
that's
so-
another show for another day.
Okay, that's all I have for now. So that's it. I wanted to just share that with you people.
Very good. Very good.
Very good.
Although I didn't understand half of what you said.
Yeah, I love you too.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
right. He got it.
No, I didn't. I was just like the Spanish people, like yes, yes,
You just have
So
to, you think-
disrespectful.
like yes.
Why do you have to call Spanish people?
Yeah, why you?
Spanish people.
you
That's what
being
they
so
say. I'm giving you my
disrespectful?
Spanish accent. Yes.
Stop it.
I'm just saying.
Stop talking about my people.
Yeah, peoples. So speaking of which, just let you know, we were talking about how hot it is and everything, and we talk about food and stuff and gender roles.
Yeah.
So you cook for your household?
Yes.
You cook for your household?
For the most part. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I'm gonna say I've had both your foods. Somebody tearing up the place over here again.
It's always me.
So I remember. Let me see. I've had jollof rice from you,
Yes.
and I know you had pork
had
fried
pasta
rice
from me
tacos.
too.
Oh, I can't stand you. I'm sitting here thinking, what did I cook for him?
Pork fried rice tacos with a side of collard greens.
Stop talking to me. That would kind of fit all the cultures. That might not be bad.
Yeah. So all right, gender roles. Do you believe in gender roles?
For the most part.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
You do?
yeah.
Okay.
There are some
Only
roles
one.
things that I'm just not going to do.
So I have an issue with only one thing when it comes to gender roles, and we can talk about the different types.
Okay.
And I didn't know all this because one of them kind of frustrates me, but I didn't know all this until I started looking it up, right? Because they got terms for everything,
Of course.
right? So when you talk about gender roles, say traditional gender roles depict women as what?
As the wife and mother.
Mm-hmm.
Like the support system.
So, all right,
Yeah, to
they
support the house and the
subservient
homemaker.
homemakers,
Mhm.
exactly, right?
But that's the 50s woman.
That's the 50s. Depends on where you are.
And how much money you have.
Well, yeah, that too. But like cultural things, right?
Okay.
So now in the
Okay.
U.S. is, that might be
Right.
50s, 60s,
Right.
whatever. But in other places like in, Asia, Africa, and probably some places in Europe, some.
Okay.
Not as much as, here. But they do that. And the men were basically what? Breadwinners.
Right.
know,
head of the household.
Head of the household. Mhm. And protect. And I always tell people this. We have these conversations all the time. I said, as a husband, you have 3 basic roles. 3: protect, provide.
And
And
win
what was the
bread.
other one?
I don't know.
Win the bread.
Well, that's provide, right?
Yeah, it was. Wait a minute. It was protect, provide. It wasn't love.
Oh, gee, thanks.
Oh, and the lead. Yeah, I'm
And
sorry.
lead, okay.
Right.
And respect.
I was trying to. No, that's not. That's not included. So, and that goes into that conversation again. Like, how do we show love?
Right.
Right. So, you're traditional
I think so, yeah.
for the most part. Like,
Yeah,
what would
I
you say?
think
The
for the most
100% to 0%. What would you say on the traditional gender role thing?
80, 75, 80.
I would
say
you're in the 90%.
I don't think so, because I work.
Well, yeah, okay.
I work and have a side hustle, so
Okay.
I would say, I would
80.
say 80.
What would you say?
For myself?
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, do you think?
What I think?
Mm-hmm.
I think you're probably 60.
So things change. That's things.
And
so-
it could be generational.
No. So things changed. Well, when I lived in Nigeria, it was different. I was like 100, and then when I got here, more like 60
Okay.
Okay, so now glad you said that because then they
across
have
the border.
so they have 3 type of gender roles, right? Egalitarian.
He go what?
Did I say that right?
I don't know.
No, I don't know what you're saying.
It's basically when everything is equal. Like this is how we usually
that
do
never
here.
happens.
50-50, like basically you work, I work, you put in your
bring it
half, I
together.
put and all that. So there's no gender roles whatsoever. If I'm mowing the lawn this week, you mowing the lawn next week.
See, that,
right?
we'll
Somewhere
get
right
there.
there.
I don't
We'll
think
get
that
there.
works anywhere.
Right. And then of course is the traditional where you said the man provides
Right,
and
right.
the breadwinner, blah blah blah, and the women sit home and complain.
You
So-
know what?
Complain.
Huh?
He gonna get a fight on his hands tonight,
And then there's the transitional,
which is
but it changes. Slowly change. You might
right. Right. Okay.
So
Wishy-washy.
it could be like how you were, when you was in Nigeria and you had, good, background and standing, then you came over here to civilization and then you became Americanized.
You're so disrespectful.
So you became Americanized.
No, because I also had to work now. I didn't have to work in Nigeria. But
Right.
now I'm
Boo-hoo.
working, so
Did you
Yeah.
say boo-hoo?
All right, so
Mr. Retired.
No, I'm joking about all that, but yeah, so that's things. So you can say that things change. You know, depends on where you are,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
your culture. So you've adapted
And
some
current,
American.
No. Current situation.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
And like I said, generational.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
because women are different now.
They most certainly are.
Yeah, we have a lot of women putting up fights, feminists and stuff. So
Hey,
Yes.
I'm a feminist over here. So.
Well, you know, it is a I'm gonna talk to you about that
I'm
too.
only a feminist when it suits me. So
Oh,
no.
listen, wait a minute. A moment of honesty, because that's what most of us think. That's what most of us think. Hear that
That's
gentleman?
painful. That's painful.
She admitted it.
yeah,
Only when it's. That's what a lot of people think.
but it's true. I've thought about it, and then I'm like, okay, well, I'm a feminist up to a certain extent. Or I don't want to do. There's some things I don't want to do. I want to lay back and be a girl. I want to be taken care of. I don't want to struggle and do all that. But then there's some issues. I'm like, okay, we're equal now. We're equal. No, everybody's equal.
See,
We have to have the same
and that's the when I'm saying that's the issue I would have, because you can't say you want to be traditional, you know, only when it suits you.
Right.
That's a recipe for disaster.
And see, my thing is, as a feminist woman, you can say that, but don't stop me from wanting to pursue the things that I
Right.
want to pursue.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to cut the grass, and I'm not going to cut the grass.
That's what stuff
But
like
that
that's
doesn't
what I'm
stop
saying.
me from being a feminist. That doesn't stop me from saying, if homegirl across the street want to cut the grass, come over here. I got some money. You can cut all the grass you
Exactly.
want.
So there's some things I don't want to do. I can support women in other. I can be like a feminist, but then there's some other things I don't want to be equal with you on.
You know, your friends and the people in your particular culture would chastise you to the end of time. That equal thing, and you know,
Yeah, we can be equal.
They
in the
like-
sense- like in my house now. Things I told you things change, right? So because now I have to work. Now I'm not home. Nobody's gonna wait for me to come home to cook because you're gonna starve. I'm not home.
right.
So you have to fix dinner, fix the food for yourself. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So
Right.
like,
see, grandma
That-
back in the day would have came home and fixed dinner and all other type of stuff. And here we go.
Grandma
Well,
didn't
I
have
did
to
when
work.
the kids were
your
younger.
your
I
grandma
did.
didn't have to work. She didn't.
My
Grandma
grandmother
did work.
worked.
So,
My grandmother
like,
worked.
if you have okay, so what am I supposed to do?
Come home and fix daddy a sandwich.
When the kids were younger,
Yeah.
I worked and I came home and cooked.
Because probably your job permitted you to come home and cook.
Yeah, for the most part. But you know, there were times that my husband had to cook, like you, or he ain't cook. He went and
So,
bought them kids something.
When I had
He
so
wasn't
in
cooking.
Nigeria, he never had to cook. I did all the cooking.
Okay.
So when we moved over here
But let me ask you something. If
But you weren't working in.
in Nigeria,
Okay.
had you worked in Nigeria, who would just
Still
done the
me.
cooking? That's my
Right.
point. Exactly.
Right.
So
but because it's different because the here people basically have different shifts. They work 24 hours. You work whatever. In Nigeria, everybody works at the same time. And
Oh,
come
it's
home
off at the same time.
You get what
Okay.
I'm saying? So
Okay.
everybody's home. Then we're home together. I have to figure out something to cook.
Right.
Not like I'm working, you're home, and I'm back,
Right.
and you expect me to go in the kitchen to cook for you. That's unfair.
yes, life
Oh my
ain't
God.
fair. Yes.
That's unfair.
So now, all right, we're getting into the whole thing about relationships, and now that's where the problem can affect your relationship. If you know, let's say, especially in a case where you start off one way and then you're a certain way, and that person might be thinking like, this is what I'm
used to.
exactly. This is what I gave you the 6 goats for.
Oh my
You know,
God.
so
What 6 goats?
Funny.
More like 41 yams.
40.
Oh my goodness, y'all are crazy.
But so that does make a difference. And I always wondered, like, I wish they had a stat out there that said the rate of divorce,
Based on
if you had a traditional role or traditional
Okay,
household, something like
okay.
that. But I couldn't find it. But I was looking. So
I don't know if traditional households work over here. If
they
only
most certainly
if
do.
no, I don't.
They
think-
still
she
do.
was saying she don't know how it works over here.
yeah,
Oh,
I don't.
the
But then I
same-
don't think it works. It
No,
will
it's
work.
same.
It still will
yeah.
work,
It depends. Like, all right. So for example,
but no Americans though.
No, Americans. Yeah, some people still have those traditional values.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's just more and more. People are coming up with, oh, I don't need a man, all of that type stuff. Yeah.
You always go to, I don't need a man thing. I'm sure there's plenty of men out there saying that's it. I don't need a woman.
No, I don't know any men that will say I don't need a woman.
Men say that.
No, they don't. No, they don't. They don't say they need a woman for certain things, but there's no man that I know that said they don't need a woman.
Okay.
Because some women just feel like men are just there to oppress them or keep them caged and stuff like that. And then sometimes it's like your partner might be somebody that strives hard. It depends on who you're married to or who you have in your life. Or some people are like women. Some women are like go-getters. But then this other person that is not the same way feels threatened by you. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
You want to strive. I want to make money. I want to be better. I want to improve in my life. But you're trying to pull me down.
Right.
Or pull me down because that's not what you are. That's not who you. Have you seen Desperate Housewives? Remember the lady, the one that had like 1 million kids? I forgot her name. The one that was married to the guy. She had like lots of kids. I don't know. You don't remember her?
Bree?
No, not Brie Vandicap.
Okay.
That one was the housewife. The other one, Lynette.
Yes.
Remember?
Yes. She
Remember
was
she
the
used
most
to-
normal
You
of
understand?
all
But
of them.
remember she used to work, but then she
Yes.
had kids, so she had to stay home.
Right.
And then she was like really big in the office when she was working. Then she had to stay home to.
She was
take
like
care
the
of kid.
big boss.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And she stayed home to nurse kids, and then told her husband to go back to work later. And even though she was bigger than him,
Right.
and
she told her husband,
well, go back to work, whatever. Or they agreed. they agreed. They were going to go back to work, whatever. And then, but she knew that she could do that better
Right.
than he could.
Right.
He couldn't even. I think he couldn't keep the job eventually.
Yeah.
Exactly. But
Yep.
she would have. It's something that she was born to do, but she sacrificed all of that just to stay home and you get
And
what I'm
nurture
saying?
the children.
Yes, and she's a go-getter. She's somebody that
Right.
works and then she knows how to get stuff done and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it depends on who you're married to as well.
Right.
Your partner, who the kind of person you're married to, or what kind of person you're married to, and all of that too.
And although it's changing, a lot of men are not saying I'm going to be Mr. Mom while she goes to work. It's changing.
Exactly.
It's changing some, but for the most part, men aren't going to do
No.
that.
So yes.
Yeah.
So, and then you talk about gender roles too. They, it comes with, when you say gender roles, there's certain things or attributes that a
That's-
man is supposed to have according to, certain cultures. I think that's biologically, born in them. So like as a man, you're supposed to be what? Masculine, right? More competitive, suppress your feelings and emotions.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What else is something? And then on the
Why
other
do you need
hand,
to suppress your feelings?
that's just how
just
it's
a-
always
yeah.
been. Like
It's
even
getting
younger,
better.
you would
It's
say,
getting better.
"Stop
Boys,
crying,"
stop crying. Yeah.
Boys don't cry.
Yeah, boys
Right.
don't cry.
because you have to match. Both of us can't be in there crying. So, and we, so even the woman is supposed to be what? The nurturer,
Right.
The teacher,
Right.
the
The
complainer,
housekeeper.
the housekeeper.
You got one more time to say complainer. I'm gonna pluck you right. You got one more time. If y'all weren't
All
doing
right,
stuff,
I'll
she
say-
wouldn't have anything to complain about.
Strike the word complainer,
Uh-huh.
nagger.
You keep it up.
All you naggers at home.
If you had did it the first time, I wouldn't have to nag you. How about that?
Exactly.
All right.
my
So
gosh.
now we know that's what genders are, right?
Yes.
Now here's a it was an interesting thing. I
but
looked at, right?
genders are changed these days, anyways.
Yes. So,
Yes,
all right.
yes.
So most people will argue. They'll say there's two genders. There's either man or woman, right? So medicinenet.com, right? They said there's several,
Because gender
Several what genders?
is fluid.
right? So they have agender,
A
which is
gender.
a person that doesn't have
Any gender.
Right.
Right.
The body of
Like,
the
why would
gender
somebody
person.
not have a gender? Like,
They don't
identify as a male or female.
oh, but then they have a part.
They're just
they have
a person.
but they have a body part though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. This is how they identify as.
Right.
But then they have a body part.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
so
gonna make them who they are. They know who
Well, no.
they
When
are.
you say
when they pee in the
gender is more or less what you now in this aspect is what you identify as.
Right.
Like, all right. So
I'm gonna always be a woman.
So
for
I
me.
can say, okay,
Right.
today I
For
can wake
me.
up and say, oh, okay, I don't have a gender.
you can
Yeah,
if that's how
can.
you truly feel.
You know. Yeah.
But then people that see me know what I am.
Sometimes
Not really.
you gotta ask.
we assume.
Right, and that's another issue. I don't like that whole thing. So going with the first one, they said they unconcerned about their physical sex, which is the hole of the pole, right? And
Hole of the pole.
they'll try to be androgynous,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's them. Now the cisgender, that's you believe in your biological sex. You identify as whatever your biological sex is.
Right.
Like
Right.
me.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Allegedly.
Whatever.
So, so it's and then they say it's a common gender in society, obviously, but it should not be assumed.
That right.
That's bullshit.
Oh, listen, we went out Wednesday and we went to the Pancake House, and the person that waited on us wasn't sure. So I did not say, "Hey, miss," or "Hey, mister."
Okay, so in that aspect,
Right.
if it's not
I wasn't
sure,
sure.
right?
So, but you don't want to like say, "Hey, miss, can you get me?" I'm
Also,
not a miss.
at birth too. You just assume that the baby is gonna be is a boy or a girl.
No.
If that's gonna, don't assume right now. Like, hey, the baby might be.
No, we're talking about that's biological. We're talking about like
Adults
if you're looking
who-
at somebody
right.
and you
so you
can't
can
tell.
only change that when you're an adult.
No.
No.
Listen. If you it's all right. You remember Saturday Night Live? They had the character named Pat.
Pat, yes.
Pat was a androgynous person,
Right.
And they would always, ask,
Trying to guess if
Right.
it was a woman or a
right,
man.
and you really couldn't tell,
Right.
But so in that case, you don't assume,
Right.
You wouldn't say, "Hey, Mister
Right.
Pat" or Miss Pat, because people get offended by that. But here's the issue I have with that. So if not with that part, but if it's when you're assuming if you look like a particular gender or biological person, right? Then assuming
that
is
people
natural.
that are going to
Exactly.
call you that.
Until
Yeah.
otherwise.
You say, hey, no,
Right.
I'm not a.
Until
Right.
you identify
I'm
yourself
not,
as.
I might have breasts, but I'm not a girl.
Right.
I'm a guy.
Right.
So I just politely said, "What's your name?" And that's what I called them.
You say Pat or Chris.
Okay, so what you say, Chris? Can you? And then when you refer to him or her, what will you say? When you say, Chris,
They,
or
them, they or them. I don't pick pronouns for people.
Oh wow, the world
Don't
is
you roll your
complicated.
eyes at me.
Listen, look.
But you assume when you met me, you assumed that was a girl. A
No,
lady.
actually,
so
she
I feel
didn't.
offended. I
I'm
feel
a
offended.
fight you.
You was about to drop the F-bomb.
So I feel
Yes.
offended.
You feel offended? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
because you didn't ask me for.
I
My
did not.
pronoun.
I did not ask you for your
You just asked because
pronouns.
you saw me,
That's right.
and then you just
I just
assumed that I
assumed.
was.
But only because Glass had already told me. I really honestly try to be a little more conscious of that, lately, because you just can't tell. It's just hard to tell.
I need to
Yeah.
work on
Really,
that.
I really do. You can't
He was
tell.
like, "Hi, Lamb Chop.
And I kept looking like,
My name is Felonious
you know what?
Feather."
And that's what I will be calling you. How are you, Felonious? Period. Like, if you ask your name and you give me your name, and I'm good, and
Right.
that's the end of it. So, yeah. There's
So
that.
then, what you mentioned earlier, you have the gender fluid,
Right.
which means basically, you don't know what you're gonna get, whatever day.
Depending on what day.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what it means. Because there's this person that I came in contact with, and then they told me he was a gender.
How much
To me, he's a
contact?
guy.
Okay.
He's a guy. So
What kind of contact?
Stop talking.
he's a
She said she
guy,
came in contact with.
and then he's a guy, and then they said, oh, he's not a guy. He's gender fluid. And I'm like, so that means tomorrow he can be a girl.
See, this is where the bullshit comes in. Because
You know what? Don't call it
It
bullshit.
is bullshit. I'm gonna
It's
tell you
not.
the bullshit. So here's the thing: if you're dressing up as a man, like typically how a man would dress, right? And then you come the next day and you dress like typically how a woman would dress. Okay, that's your you could be gender fluid. Okay,
Right,
that's whatever.
right.
But yeah, you're still whatever you are. That's just the like if they want to be like Prince. Prince was
Right.
another one that
Right.
had that androgynous look. He had
Yes.
to, when I first, let me tell you, me and my younger sister, when we first discovered Prince, we used to stay up late at night watching like Video Soul or whatever it was, not Video Soul, but whatever it was.
Right.
And we didn't know his name, right?
Okay.
So we used to refer him like, hey, because we loved the music, we loved the video. This is like, hey, boy, girl's coming on. So, but because he had a little thin mustache,
Yeah,
but any other
yeah.
way he was like the high heels and whatever.
Right, right.
But the music was
Yeah.
great. So I was like, okay, well, I don't know what you call him. It's called boy girl. Yeah. So, but I
So
get
special.
that. But then you got gender queer.
Mm-hmm.
Here's where it gets a little confusing. This person may identify. Well, it's going to start getting more confusing. This person might identify as a male or female, as between or beyond genders,
Beyond gender.
or as a mix of the two.
Okay.
Okay, like cat dog.
She get on my nerves.
Boy, girl.
These people frequently question gender stereotypes in the male-female binary system. They frequently exhibit gender fluidity.
I sure did not just make all that up.
Well, somebody made it up. Usually the psychologists, they through studies. That's how things.
Okay. You're right.
Evolve,
You're right.
you know.
Yeah. You're right.
Say, gender queer is another term for someone open about their sexual orientation. This may or may not identify as heterosexual or same gender loving. This phrase is becoming more popular in society. Okay.
Okay.
Whatever. I read that one. Now, this is the one when I showed you that video.
Which
I sent you a video.
Oh yes,
Right?
yes. I
So this
remember.
one was-
one on top. The different
Yes.
yes.
So this one was intersex, refers to a group of medical conditions in which a person is born with chromosomes. Now this is legit, like
Biological.
right? Chromosomes, genitalia, and or secondary sexual characteristics that
Yes.
contradict.
Hermaphrodites.
Yes, and they say they don't like that word anymore, but
Derogatory.
because that was actually a
Right.
legitimate word
Derogatory.
for species.
Derogatory.
Okay.
Yeah. So that they basically contradict traditional definition of a male-female body. So basically, they got both.
Okay.
Yeah, they were born that way.
Yes, and then so this is why I say the legitimate thing is because they
Because were
they
born-
have the
they didn't have a
chromosomes
choice,
of both.
yes.
Right.
Okay.
So and then that's where they get sometimes they get at birth assigned.
Yeah.
Right.
The parents
But
sometimes.
I think that
assign.
was the beginning of all this fluid things. It was the beginning from them. That was the beginning of all this. Yes.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't
A lot
think
of them.
so.
Yeah.
Because
some
that's
people be
that's rare. Like that
Right.
doesn't happen that often.
That have two. Some people. Some people be like they have. They might not have the two genitals,
Right.
but like they have some hormones, like female hormones, and they're guys, and they have like hormones like boobs. And
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, but that can happen. That's I
Right.
think that's
Right.
more or less.
And that was the beginning of this.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's what started all of that.
I don't think that was the
that's
beginning.
it. Yeah.
But I mean you ain't been on this earth that long anyway, so maybe the beginning for you.
Oh, he is on a roll today, isn't he?
I'm
He
just
keep
saying.
forgetting he about to be in a car with 3 women for a long road trip. You better be careful.
I know somebody's gonna kick him out. But moving vehicle. And that's
Gender
gonna be me.
gender non-conforming, right? Now this is where it gets really confusing because all right, that refers to a person who either by nature or by choice does not conform to gender-based expectations of society, and that's basically they were saying the same thing
With
earlier.
Yeah.
So this identity goes.
Is that non-binary? Isn't that kind of the same?
Yeah.
Okay.
This identity goes along with a lot of the ones above. So they had to
Okay,
come up with
right,
something else.
right.
The
Right.
throw
Well,
a
maybe
title
that's
in there.
the plus in LGBTQ.
Yeah. Ooh, we got to have one, but we have to have somebody with all of those letters to I think really to get a complete idea or view of what it is.
That is a lot of letters for one person.
LGBTQ.
They can't be okay. Well,
A-
yeah, they can be gay and lesbian.
What? Gay
Well,
and lesbian?
well, yeah. If it's a woman and she's a lesbian, that makes her gay, right?
Right. No, that makes her a lesbian.
Okay.
So they lesbian.
Like gay is a general,
Yeah, but gay I think
but
in this
it's
thing, they use
usually
for males,
men.
right?
Okay.
Because they don't have a name for just male.
Right.
You know.
Don't even just keep reading. Make me hurt you.
This is the last one, transgender. And now this is super duper confusing because they said that's an umbrella term for people whose gender identity differs from the one assigned to their physical sex.
Right.
It includes trans men, trans women, genderqueer people, cross-dressers, and drag queens, kings. Never even heard of drag kings.
Oh, yeah, the women do men things. Like,
really?
Yeah.
Among others. And in general refers to anybody whose behavior or identity deviates from gender stereotypes. So that's just crazy.
The drag king I saw did a show, a Eminem show.